Hello, friends. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, bringing you my daily diary segment. You know, I've always believed in transparency and being an open book. And I remember years and years ago, decades ago, seeing in some of the Catholic papers, maybe you could still find them today, I don't know, the bishop's schedule for the week. You know, here's what the bishop is going to do. And maybe it had one or two things on there each day. And you really never knew what else he did with the rest of his time. And of course, you know, in American politics, you know, we want to know what our president is up to. And if necessary, you know, reporters could ask for the tick-tock, you know, where was the president at this particular time? What was he doing? And so I like to give you my daily activities every day, whether work or leisure. You know what I'm doing, because so many of you look to me for leadership in the pro-life movement. You support our work. You want to see some results. And this is just me, by the way. We have, of course, our whole team carrying out the things that you support us in doing. So let me, without further ado, tell you what I did on February 4, 5, 6, and 7 of 2025. Well, February 4th was my birthday, my 66th. And thank you all for those of you that sent me birthday greetings, or even if you didn't, that you are on our team, so to speak, and sending up prayers for me. So I started off, of course, the day with grateful prayer to the Lord for the gift of life, and starting out right away with some heavy work at my desk. I had to do some final preparations for the pro-life leaders meeting, some broadcast planning and video production instructions for the staff, planning the taping of liturgical videos. That's where we suggest to priests how to and other pastors of other denominations how to preach on abortion. Some future trip planning, the plans for the Good Shepherd Project, our clergy online training, pro-life legal initiatives, some work on that, and also approvals of emails going out. Did this work at my desk, intersected with staff during the course of the morning. At 10:45, I was here in the studio taping those liturgical videos that I was just talking about. That was 10:45. When that was done at 11:15, I taped a full-length half-hour program for our Praying for America. And then when that was done, I went in to grab a quick lunch, and meanwhile had a conference call with one of the major evangelical leaders in America, talking about our collaboration, which we are going to increase. The evangelical community loves what we do. They know I'm Catholic. And yet they've heard me speak, and they know that we're on the same page about especially pro-life issues and keeping America strong and advancing the kingdom of Jesus Christ. Continued on then the rest of the afternoon, just doing office work and at my desk with my staff on the phone, and welcoming, as the afternoon continued, the pro-life leaders. Now, the night of the 4th began a 3-day period where, and this was just, it ended up actually being 4 days, a joy and an honor to welcome national pro-life leaders here to our headquarters. We've done this before, we'll do it again. But we started welcoming them in the evening, and from 6 to 9, we had a hospitality reception, light foods, and just a lot of fellowship and greeting of one another. Leaders of major groups that you would be familiar with, all coming here within our walls and getting ready for a time of strategy and updating. And we enjoyed an evening reception together, both inside and outside on our patio in the back. So that concluded February 4th. And of course, they sang happy birthday for me. It was a nice way to celebrate a birthday with some of my favorite people, the leaders in the pro-life movement. Then February 5th, Wednesday, a day of full meetings. I've got the schedule here. I did some work on my computer with regard to some plans for broadcasting, and also a book I had one of my staff order. But the 115 Forum, as we call it, from Psalm 115, which says, "Not to us, Lord, but to your name give glory." We gathered the leaders together. I started off a welcome, and I went over some results of a survey that we had done with them. That was at 9. Then we went right into the reports that the different state leaders and national leaders gave. Pro-life litigation report, Wisconsin Supreme Court, We had a break. I intersected with a lot of the leaders personally. Federal legislative update, euthanasia update. At lunchtime, again, I interacted with all of them as we enjoyed lunch, and then strategic update from National Right to Life. The executive director of National Right to Life was here. You'll see an interview I did with him. And then I was privileged to welcome the mayor of Titusville. We're here in Titusville, Florida, and the mayor came by to welcome the pro-life leaders and also to see our headquarters. Although I had met him on a number of different occasions around town, he hadn't yet been here. So we took this occasion to both welcome the leaders, and also I gave him then a tour of our building, along with others like the head of National Right to Life and some other folks that had not yet been here in the past. So then we continued with our meeting. We had some of the key researchers in the pro-life movement, some of the top experts on the damage abortion does to women's health and to family health. And then we also had a key international leader here. All of these meetings went up until 5 p.m. And then we went into the cafe. We had a social hour and a nice dinner together, really thanks to our executive director, Janet Morana, and so many of our staff that helped out. It was a great success. But we enjoyed several hours of dinner conversation and interacting with one another, and just builds the unity of the movement. You know, when you share a meal with somebody, it's harder to criticize them in the headlines the next morning, and we're fostering the unity of the movement. Thursday, February 6th, much of the same dynamic took place. Had to do some work at my computer, of course. I like to get up nice and early. Pro-life legal matters, approving e-appeals, work on establishing our C4 organization, Pro-Life Vote, and also responding to an invitation to the White House. I was asked to be with President Trump for his signing of the executive order starting the Office of Faith, so I had some communication with the White House about that. Then we went on to our pro-life leadership meetings. We talked about legal strategies. We talked about coerced abortion. We had Dr. David Reardon here. We had individual conversations during the break. We had John Stemberger here, Liberty Counsel, Action. This is just a tremendous group of people. We took a photo of the entire group. You'll see it on my social media just before lunch, and then we went in. We had a great lunch. I went aside to craft some wording for some joint statements that the leaders approved in theory, and we had a separate meeting, my executive director and I, together with Autumn from SBA Pro-Life America. She's a great expert on legislative matters, and we had a meeting with her individually. Continued our strategic discussions, met with different leaders that wanted to see me about different things during the course of the afternoon, especially during our break. We had a greeting from the Vitae Foundation via Zoom. Our social media director came in and gave the leaders some tips about social media. And we went right up until 5 o'clock. And then once again, thanks to our team led by Janet, a wonderful dinner for these leaders. We gave them some good food to enjoy, fellowship, beautiful patio. The weather was great. Everyone was happy. And again, we built up the bonds between the leaders of the movement. Finally, Friday the 7th, what did I do? Again, up early, looking forward to another full day of pro-life leaders meetings. Did have to do some work at my computer in regard to some building matters, connecting with our chief finance officer. We keep, of course, making sure that everything with the building is good. We own this building, it's fully paid off. Joint letter to President Trump, did work on getting that finalized and publicized. Evangelical outreach strategic conversation with one of the key evangelical advisors in the country, and an approval of an email going out. Then we did our meeting, again, very much similar to the previous day, different experts coming up, giving presentations, and then strategic discussions. I helped lead some of those discussions. Others were led by Janet. Others were led by Tom Glessner, of our colleague who heads up the National Institute of Family and Life Advocates, one of the main pregnancy center networks. All these discussions, all throughout the course of the day, we finalized some action plans, adjourned at 5 o'clock. Some had to leave Friday night, but then the bulk of the leaders again joined us for a nice dinner in our cafe and out on our patio. Again, the weather cooperating beautifully, and everyone happy. And some said goodbye then at the end of that evening as they had travel plans the next day. That's what I did from the 4th through the 7th of February of 2025. I hope your activities are fruitful, and I thank you for your support of me and of Priests for Life. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.
Hi, this is Dr. Teresa Burke, the founder of Rachel's Vineyard and Pastoral Associate of Priests for Life. One of the key factors that impacts the relationship between a man and a woman is whether either of them had suffered the loss of a child in a previous abortion. These abortions affect a person's ability to bond with their partner or their future children. It affects their ability to trust, to make decisions, and to even have a physical intimacy. Abortions affect one's self-esteem, one's view of God, and one's overall physical and psychological health. For this reason, the question of previous abortions should be discussed by couples before they marry. And likewise, those who work with couples preparing for marriage should gently raise this question during the preparation and urge the couple to discuss this with one another. There is nothing healthy about keeping a past abortion secret, because even secrets can cause real damage.